My name is Claire Cooney, and this is my crisis speech for advanced public speaking at Brandman University. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate any and all feedback. I hope you've had a great term as I have. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I've been asked to speak today by our dean as we have a crisis issue that is causing serious damage within the university and Greek systems and hurting our student body. As you all might know, the reason we are here today is because someone we know very well, a sorority sister, died this week due to alcohol poisoning. She was a great friend to all of us, and it was something we never could have expected. The sad fact is the alcohol poisoning she died from was completely preventable. The main reason alcohol poisoning occurs is because of binge drinking, something that is very common at college parties. Sure, it's okay to have a drink or two to celebrate, but sometimes parties go too far and people drink far too much. Most of the time, this ends up in vomiting and a terrible hangover the next day, but sometimes it's much worse than that, like in the case of our sorority sister. She drank too much, she fell asleep, and she never woke up. Even one death from alcohol poisoning is one too many, and we must do something. Today, I will discuss what alcohol poisoning is and what binge drinking are, how they happen on a social level, and the steps we can take as a sorority and as a school to prevent it. First, I will begin by discussing alcohol poisoning and binge drinking. Alcohol poisoning can be caused when a person drinks too much alcohol in a very short period of time. This is also known as binge drinking, according to Mayo Clinic. Alcohol poisoning can kill very quickly unless emergency medical attention is given, and this is because, unlike food, alcohol is processed very quickly by the body. And alcohol poisoning has very common symptoms, and most people chalk them up to someone just being really plastered. However, these symptoms are serious and should not be ignored. Symptoms of alcohol poisoning can include confusion, vomiting, seizures, slow and irregular breathing, blue-colored or pale skin, low body temperature, and passing out. Binge drinking is the real problem we have to deal with, as it is the major cause of alcohol poisoning cases and alcohol poisoning deaths. Binge drinking may seem like something only hardcore alcoholics do, but this is not the case at all. In fact, the amount of alcohol that constitutes binge drinking might be quite surprising to some party drinkers. According to CDC, binge drinking is a pattern of drinking that brings a person's blood alcohol concentration to 0.08 grams per cent or above, also generally known as the legal drinking limit in many states. This translates to 5 or more drinks for a male or 4 or more drinks for a female in about 2 hours. You may be wondering, what constitutes a drink anyway? The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism defines a drink as 12 ounces of beer with 5% alcohol content, 5 ounces of wine with 12% alcohol content, or 1.5 ounces of spirits or hard liquor at 40% alcohol content. So those mixed drinks like Long Island iced teas don't count for one drink. A Long Island iced tea can count as many as 5 to 7 standard drinks, depending on the server, the size of the glass, or other variations. Already one drink in, and if you've already binge drank. Many of you may be thinking that alcohol poisoning could never happen to you, but I will now describe how easy it is to happen to any of us. Partying and drinking are what fraternity and sorority systems are known for in popular culture. It's not a great stigma, but there happens to be some truth to it sometimes. Our friend died from drinking at a frat party, and it didn't take her long to get there from completely sober. Let me explain how easy it is for a person to get beyond hammered without even thinking about it. At parties where the alcohol is pretty much free-flowing, most people don't think to keep track of their drinking. Here's what may go through a person's head when they are drinking at a party. It's free and everyone else is having a good time, so why shouldn't I? Or my friend offered me a drink and it would be rude to refuse, so I should drink it. Oh, they're having fun playing beer pong. That looks great. Maybe I should join in for a few rounds. Man, I have to keep up with these people. I don't want to look like a lightweight. And even Well, I'm already drunk. What's another? I ask you all to think about the parties you've been to. How many times have you said or thought something along those lines while drinking? If you have, you've probably had an episode of binge drinking at least once. Additionally, the more inebriated someone is, the more likely they are to give in to peer pressure due to the lack of inhibitions and a feeling of invincibility. This is where drinking gets really dangerous because a person cannot make rational decisions regarding their health or body and can engage in really dangerous behavior. Finally, now that we know how alcohol poisoning can happen, I will suggest how we can prevent it. The easiest way to prevent yourself from becoming a victim of alcohol poisoning is to exercise self-control and self-awareness. The CDC recommends a limit of 1 standard drink a day for women and 2 standard drinks a day for men. A limit, meaning maximum. This may seem lame, but I promise this limit will never cause you to get alcohol poisoning. If you decide to drink more than this, be careful to count your drinks and set a hard limit. When you begin drinking, tell your friends of your limit and ask that they don't offer you additional drinks or pressure you into drinking more. If your friends make fun of you or continue to pressure you, then they aren't friends, and you probably should not be drinking with them. Another way to prevent alcohol poisoning is to watch out for each other and use the buddy system. If you feel yourself getting too drunk, ask your friends to keep you from drinking more. Like I mentioned before, drinking can lower your inhibitions, and it's not wrong to ask a friend to help keep you from making bad decisions. Additionally, watch your friends and their drinking habits too. Don't be afraid to cut them off. They may be annoyed at first, but they will thank you in the morning, especially if they don't get a wicked hangover. And again, watch for the symptoms of alcohol poisoning. Slow and irregular breathing, passing out, seizures, confusion, low body temperature, bluish or pale skin, and vomiting. If you're afraid that your friend might be suffering from alcohol poisoning, immediately call 911. Don't wait. Don't wait to call 911. The sooner they get medical care, the less likely they are to die. And most importantly, I stress this, don't let them sleep it off. Passing out is a sign of alcohol poisoning, and sleeping it off is not at all a treatment for alcohol poisoning. A person who passes out from alcohol poisoning and is allowed to sleep it off will probably never wake up, just like our friend. In this instance, it is far better to be overcautious than to have a friend die because they didn't get help in time. And believe me, it's possible to see these signs and get help. My friend Kelly got alcohol poisoning a couple years back. It was scary, but fortunately, we got her to the hospital in time because we saw the signs. And now she's healthy and sober. If we pay attention, we can prevent it. Unfortunately, our other friend and classmate died because she drank too much and suffered alcohol poisoning before anyone could get her the help she needed. It is very saddening to our sorority, and we really lost a great sister, and we will always miss her. For her and every sister and brother, we must make sure we don't make similar mistakes because we all have lives we should be living, and they shouldn't end due to alcohol. I hope that you will all remember what alcohol poisoning is, how it happens, and what we can do to help keep ourselves and our friends from dying of alcohol poisoning. That is a very preventable condition. Stay safe, especially throughout this holiday period. For those at Brandman, I thank you for this term. It was great. And to the instructor, thank you. I've learned a lot, and thank you for all the feedback on the past speeches. And happy holidays.